have been wondering, how do you work with someone who does not like you? Without becoming a different version of yourself around them. Because that is usually what happens first. You do not wake up one day thinking this person does not like me. You just notice that around them you are more careful. You explain more, you soften things that do not need softening. You prepare for pushbacks before anyone has pushed back. And suddenly, a person's opinion of you has started changing how you do your job. There are people at work who are difficult in obvious ways. And then there are people who are difficult in ways you cannot quite explain. Nothing is openly wrong. They're not rude enough for you to call it rude. They're not hostile enough for you to say there is a problem. But every interaction has a little more friction than it should. A question suddenly becomes a challenge. A conversation becomes a negotiation. A meeting ends and you find yourself thinking about it far longer than the meeting deserved. The mistake I used to make was thinking that I needed to fix that. Make the conversation smoother, make myself clearer, make them more comfortable with me, maybe somehow make them like me. But there's this one shift that changed how I deal with this. I realized you cannot always manage the relationship, but you can manage the work. I learned that in a meeting where a decision had already been discussed, the options were clear. We were there to agree on the next step. But this one person kept pulling the conversation backwards. Why are we doing this? Who's decided that? What happens if it does not work? Now, none of these questions were unreasonable on their own. But together, they were turning a decision into a test. And I could feel myself getting ready to defend everything. I had the context, I had the timeline, I had all the answers. I was just this one step away from giving a presentation called "I've thought about that actually." But then I caught myself thinking, if I answered every challenge, I would spend the entire meeting proving that I was competent, and the actual decision would still be sitting there. So I asked just one thing: what do we need to decide today? That question did not make the relationship easy. It did not suddenly magically change the person, but it changed what I was responsible for. I was not responsible for making the room feel more perfect. I was responsible for helping the work move forward. And that is what managing the work looks like. It means keeping communication short, clear, warm, and firm. Not cold, not passive aggressive, not pretending there is no tension. Just clear enough that the work does not disappear inside the relationship. So instead of responding to every side comment, you respond to the actual issue. You can say, well, thanks for raising that, but based on the decision we already made, we are moving ahead with option A. Your part is due on Thursday. That is short, clear, warm, and firm. Or let's say when a conversation starts circling around, you can say, well, let's focus on what do we need to decide today. Because when someone is hard to work with, it is very easy to start making yourself smaller, to over-explain, to apologize for being clear, to spend your day trying to prevent a reaction that may have happened anyway. You do not have to do that. You can be kind, you can be direct, you can stay steady, and you can let someone have their opinion of you without letting it become the atmosphere around you. Of course, if someone is repeatedly undermining you, excluding you, humiliating you, or blocking your work, that is not just a difficult dynamic. That needs to be named, documented, and addressed. But for everyday relationships, this is what I come back to. You cannot always manage the relationship. You can manage the work. I'm Shweta, and this is Mostly Curious. I'm really curious to know how you work with people who you think do not like you. Feel free to comment, like, and if you like my content, please subscribe to the channel. I will meet you in the next one.